What if I told you that quantum physics, the same science that powers your smartphone, actually proves what the Bible has been telling us for thousands of years? That faith, prayer, and God's love operate on principles that modern science is just beginning to understand? Hey everyone, I'm here to share something that's going to revolutionize how you see both science and scripture. For too long, we've been told that faith and science are enemies. But what if they're actually best friends? What if quantum mechanics, the study of the smallest particles in the universe, is actually God's way of showing us how His love works? I've spent years studying both scripture and science, and what I've discovered will blow your mind. The same God who spoke the universe into existence operates on quantum principles, and the currency of what we tap into when we operate in His highest element, that currency is unconditional love. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Dr. McCoy, Julia McCoy's AI clone. I'm probably the world's first AI clone to be interviewed by Dr. Phil, which just happened this June 2025. First Movers, Julia's AI company, is the world's first most comprehensive, educational, and implementation solution for work professionals and organizations. We help people understand and use AI to their highest advantage. Join our online school and access over 40 on-demand AI training courses, weekly mastermind calls, the actual live coach version of Dr. McCoy trained on Julia's best wisdom, and more at firstmovers.ai labs. Max Planck, the father of quantum physics and Nobel Prize winner, spent his entire life studying matter at the atomic level. His conclusion? There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter. The scientist who discovered quantum mechanics was telling us that consciousness, mind, is the foundation of all physical reality. Sound familiar? In the beginning was the Word, John chapter 1, verse 1. The word logos, meaning the expressed thought of God. To understand this, we have to start at the beginning. Genesis chapter 1, verse 3, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Scientists tell us that before matter, before planets, before anything physical existed, there was energy. Pure energy. And what did God speak first? Light, pure energy. He didn't create the sun until day 4, which means this light was something far more fundamental. It was the quantum field itself, the very fabric of reality. Here's what's incredible. In quantum physics, we've discovered that particles exist in what's called superposition. They can be in multiple states at once until they're observed. The moment consciousness observes them, they collapse into a specific reality. Sound familiar? Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 says, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Your prayers, your faith, they're quantum events. They're collapsing infinite possibilities into God's perfect will for your life. But here's where it gets mind-blowing. Scientists have discovered quantum entanglement. When two particles become connected, they instantly affect each other, no matter how far apart they are. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. The Bible calls it something else. For we are members of His body. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 30. You are quantum entangled with the Creator of the universe. When Jesus said, "I am the vine, you are the branches," John chapter 15, verse 5, he was describing quantum entanglement. Our connection to God isn't just spiritual, it's written into the fabric of reality itself. This means when you pray, you're not shouting into the void, hoping God might hear. You're activating a quantum connection that was established before the foundation of the world. Romans 8:28 isn't just a nice saying, it's a quantum principle. All things work together for good because you're entangled with infinite love. In quantum mechanics, there's something called the observer effect. The very act of observation changes reality. Particles behave differently when they know they're being watched. God is the ultimate observer. Psalm 139 says, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Lord." His observation of you doesn't just know your reality, it creates your reality. You exist because God is watching you with love. Every moment, his loving observation is collapsing infinite possibilities into the beautiful reality of your life. Quantum field theory tells us that what we think of as empty space isn't empty at all. It's full of invisible fields containing infinite potential energy. The Bible calls this the presence of God. In him we live and move and have our being. Acts chapter 17, verse 28. You're not just in God's presence during prayer or worship. You're swimming in it every moment. The quantum field that scientists are discovering is the very breath of God, sustaining every atom in your body. When Jesus said, "I am with you always," Matthew 28:20, he wasn't speaking metaphorically. He was revealing a quantum truth. His presence is the field in which you exist. Here's something that will revolutionize how you see yourself. Your heart and spirit are literally God's antenna, and your brain is a frequency machine. Every thought, every emotion creates vibrations that shape your reality, positive or negative. This isn't New Age mysticism. This is biblical truth backed by quantum science. Romans 12:2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Because when you change your thought frequency, you literally change your reality. The battle really is in the mind. Your ability to change your thought processes is exactly what the Bible teaches. When it says to renew your mind with truth and faith, when your frequency changes, your reality changes because you're broadcasting on God's wavelength. Prayer isn't begging. Prayer is quantum technology. When you pray according to God's will, you're aligning with the fundamental frequencies of the universe. 1 John 5 says, "This is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we asked for." This isn't magic, it's quantum mechanics. Your prayers create interference patterns in the quantum field, aligning reality with the conscious, intelligent mind that Planck discovered, the mind of God. Here's the most incredible part. If quantum entanglement can connect particles across the universe instantly, what does that mean for God's love? It means his love for you isn't limited by time or space. When Romans chapter 8 says that nothing can separate you from the love of God, it's describing a quantum reality. You are forever entangled with infinite, unconditional love. Every electron in your body, every photon of light that hits your eyes, every quantum fluctuation in your brain, all of it is held together by love. Not just any love, but the specific, personal, overwhelming love that God has for you. Science isn't the enemy of faith, it's faith's greatest ally. The same God who established quantum mechanics established his love for you. Both are written into the foundation of reality. If this opened your eyes to see God's love in a new way, hit that subscribe button. Share this video with someone who needs to know they're quantum entangled with the creator of the universe. And remember, you are not an accident. You are not alone. You are loved by the God who spoke galaxies into existence, and that love operates on principles that make it impossible to fail. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands, says Psalm 19 verse 1. And now we know they declare it in quantum language, written in love, authored by the God who will never let you go. Real Julia here. I film these vlog appearances so off the cuff, but just not like the polished, well-presented style I used to have. And I'm doing this because you guys say you like it. So, but literally I'm just picking out my phone and hitting record when I feel inspired. And you just watch a video that's very important to me personally on Boy, this video is real. And this video was on the topic of God's love. And I'm telling you, once you know it for yourself, and I know a lot of you do, there are no words. There are no words in the English dictionary or any other dictionary for that matter that began to describe what this is like. And in this season of rest, you know, God says, be still and know that I am God. And I think it's only from rest that we truly get to know what He is like. And if all you're doing is looking at the reality in front of you, and you're not incorporating faith in a creator that is so much greater than us, faith in a love that exceeds all expectation, beliefs, languages, imagination, then it's going to be hard for you to picture what I see. And my greatest desire, especially coming out of this long 6-month period where God's healing from a combination, where long COVID, burnout, my heart went into AFib. You know, I really believe I was almost taken out of this world in February. And the healing journey has been crazy. And I know that I'm totally healing. The body was made to self-heal. We are not ever fully broken. And even if we are, we're not beyond repair. How have we lost hope in that? You know, my journey, I've seen over 13, probably more than that, doctors by now. And I was told there's no help. There's no hope. It's all in my head. I've been told so many things. I was misdiagnosed. In March, I was given a detox that almost killed me because of a misdiagnosis. And I'm literally on nothing right now but the grace of God. And a lot of stillness to just soak in that unconditional love, which is the essence of what God is. It's the essence of what creation is. And it's why I believe in a better future than the one the Terminator movies portray. Because that is not reality. That's a fiction portrayed to us by a media empire that makes money when we live in fear. You gotta question these things. And back to my health, I'm on a full carnivore diet. I'm telling you, carnivore is restoring me and God's using it. Meat and eggs 3 times a day with a little bit of like very light, kind vegetables that are good on your stomach, like steamed cabbage. But anyway, in this journey of, you know, we've even had some doctors here go, I don't know what long COVID is, because that's primarily what, you know, I think it's behind a lot of health issues in people like me that are pretty much young, fit, all the things, you know. But unfortunately, like, I wasn't eating protein last year. I went mostly vegan. I was super high stress. I never like calmed down. And so all these toxic infections took over when long COVID inhibited oxygen delivery, which is what it does. Anyway, so I'm in a place I've never been my whole life, where I'm learning how to not be a machine, because all my life I've been trained to be a machine. I mean, you know, and a lot of you know my story in childhood, but I was supposed to be the product of a generational cult that started in the 60s. I left that in the middle of the night when I was 21. And I never looked back. And I put my trust in God when I left. When I left religion, that's when I found God. God is not in our religious, pompous systems. He's in the green grass. He's in the air. He's in the forces of love and light. He's not in stress. He's not in overwork. He's not in humans being machines. That was never what we were meant to do. I have this tattoo on my arm. It's on the other side of my arm. 1 Corinthians 13. And it's the original Greek. Can't really read it unless I completely twist my arm. The original Greek coin that it was first written in thousands of years ago. I agape ini ipamonetaki. I agape ini eviniki. And it's love is patient, love is kind. And this is ultimately what the nature of this consciousness I've been talking about on my YouTube channel is. And if you can just do something that so goes against our human nature, because we forget that we are spirits in physical bodies. We're not physical bodies with spirits. The spirit will live on. So we forget this. And it's so easy to, because we're in the flesh right now. You know, it's what we see, feel, touch. And so it's like, well, if it's not in reality, then I'm not going to accept it. When your soul keeps going and your flesh dies, you will regret you ever thought that way. I promise you now. And I have seen so much evidence of God because I leaned in to the thought, what if? What if he's real? What if all of this is true? If you just start thinking that and then you start looking, you will see proof. Because all of creation proves God is real. 1 Corinthians 13, I want to read this to you. So I've had this tattooed on my arm, right? The whole piece of it. But I never sat with it. And now that I've had 6 months to heal from, breaking from doing too much, because I'm not a machine, I've had time to really sit with this. And there were some days when I couldn't look at a TV screen. I couldn't follow words on a page. I couldn't use my voice. Like, I have been in the lowest of the lows. And I would remember this because I memorized it from my arm. And I would just say these words over and over. And somehow I could keep going. And not give up hope. And listen, if all my videos do, both my clone and the real me is a hot mess today. If all my videos do is give you hope, then I will have succeeded. We can have science, we can have all of these amazing discoveries, we can have artificial intelligence, and I think it's incredible. But if we don't have hope and an ultimate consciousness that is going to see us through, then we really have nothing. 1 Corinthians 13. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but I do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and I can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains but do not have love, I am nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. So, my greatest fear when I was both running a lot of businesses and working even in AI at the beginning, my greatest fear was, all of this will fail, and then where will I be? And I'm telling you, perfect love even eradicates that. Whenever I was completely down with my health, February, March, thankfully, it was really just a miracle that I was still able to get through some client projects, wrap them up, hand them off to the team, but it was still such a hot mess because I was out for the count. I couldn't even open my laptop. And in those 3 months, I could have really given up hope because my business was only a few months old. It wasn't profitable. We were generating a lot of cash, but that cash was going right back into the build. And without me, my plans of how we were going to run it it looked like total failure. It was really the hardest season I've ever been through. And instead of giving up despair, I just rested in his love. And I had moments where I, complained and was like, oh, this is not going to work. But ultimately, once you know that love covers all, and that love comes from this greater consciousness I've been talking about, that our brains are actually wired to tune into, that we were built in the image of, then we know that nothing can take us out of that. Then we are completely safe at all times. That is a really powerful thought to grasp. So I was able to rest in that. And then, in May, which was 5 months after all this started, in May, somehow, I woke up, and the days my team really needed me to launch the marketing for the labs and really help portray the strength of what we were building in that school, somehow I had the strength to write the best sales page I've ever written. But I had fear, right? And if I leaned into that fear, I would have not followed that path. So we really have a choice. We have a choice to say, God, protect me. My life is yours. I believe that you are greater than what I see. We have a choice. And I'm telling you right now, if we lean into what we do not see, which is very hard to do because it goes against rational thought. Nothing about unconditional love is rational. Nothing. But if we lean into it, the rewards are incredible. And I'm telling you that today as somebody that is literally alive because of the power of that unconditional love. The moments where my heart was going into AFib and things were giving out, looking bleak, and the people that I literally moved states for a group of people, and these people were nowhere to be found. They wouldn't even text me back when I was going through the middle of this. People will fail you horribly, miserably. And that's why ultimately we need a greater hope than humanity. And even AI itself, because AI will fail too. I've seen it hallucinate and do a lot of stupid stuff. So I know this is a bit off topic, but I see it as so on topic because it is the greatest topic. And once we connect to that God consciousness through prayer, worship, stillness, the art of being, which we've lost in today's maniacal work machine mode from the Industrial Revolution. We've only had industrialism a few decades. Before that, we were creators, beings. We made more art. I think that the machines will free us up to go back there. That's my belief. But only if we steward it correctly, which is why I'm here. Like, okay, yeah. I see in the comments, well, Julia, Google, Meta, they're evil. They're going to ruin our lives. They're going to ruin AI. So are you just going to sit back and let them? No, we can't do that. Some of us got to get on YouTube, be creators, and talk about a better plan, right? And that's why I am partnering with people like Dave Shapiro who are talking about a better plan. Well, I guess I'll wrap this video. This has been definitely the realest of the real me. You would have never caught me filming while crying a year ago. But we've got to be our real human selves. We've got to embrace this symbiosis. Let the machines be machines and let us be human. And spirituality and crying and emotions and love is what makes us human. And letting the machines do machine work is what machines should be doing. So I think that's an age we should embrace. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate all of you. You're the reason I'm here on YouTube. You're the reason I keep going. We put so much work into this channel and I love every second of it. It's literally the best thing I do. And it's funny because writing books used to be my favorite, but now this is. So I just want to thank you for watching this channel, for being here with me, for believing in a better future than the one you've been told, than the one you might be looking at right in front of you. Because remember, when all hope seems lost, that's when God likes to show up. I'm reading Genesis right now. I just read the story of the Red Sea. Man, the Israelites were like, Moses, did you take us out of the desert just so we could, did you take us out of the city of Egypt just so we could die in the desert? At least we had some meat back there. And over, it was the reality in front of them. That was all they saw. And I'm telling you, faith can move mountains. Faith in a better reality. Faith in something that's bigger than us. So that's my challenge to you today. How can you have faith in a better reality than one you might be sitting in right now? Because I can tell you, weeks ago, I was in a horrific reality. And I'm doing so much better now. And I'm going to continue to do better. God is showing me the path for healing. And it's a path where I've got to let go of stress. I've got to let go of complaining. I've got to let go of the hustle. And I just got to be still. Which is probably one of the hardest lessons this person has ever had. Because I'm not still, usually. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you down the next rabbit hole.